What's up, everybody? Today, we're getting down to the nitty gritty here as far as defenders. We're talking about defensive ends today, okay? This video is going to be a little bit longer than others, only because I have 19 prospects here that I want to go over. Any of these guys can come in here and be an impact to the Dallas Cowboys defense, okay? This is what we needed for a while now. I've been watching these guys for months, you know, pretty much since the fall. I've been watching these guys, and as each game came by, I knew more and more that we needed defense, especially a pass rusher, somebody durable, somebody that we can count on. So this is getting serious. That means cap mode. All right, so we're talking defenders. We're talking defense, okay? So let's go over this list here. We got a lot of guys here to cover. I'll try to keep it short as possible. Just go over the highlights of my notes, and let's get right into it, okay? All right, so first guy we have, obviously, the number one guy here, Myles Garrett, all right? Texas A&M, 6'4", 270. This is the explosive guy, the premier guy, blue chipper. You know, he's pretty much the consensus number one pick. We'll see what the Browns do. There are some questions as far as his sack production versus, you know, smaller schools versus top 10 schools, SEC schools. So we'll see how that pans out. I'm sure he'll be a good player here in the league, though. He's put in some good numbers. All right, number two guy, Tim Williams. Okay, this guy here, he has all the intangibles that you want out of a guy: speed, explosive, but he does come with a lot of baggage and check-in baggage. Okay, so I mean he has a lot of baggage. So he's been benched here. Teams are going to want to ask him, or Saban, or him, the player himself, why was he benched? What happened? Off-field issues. It's been said that some of these off-field issues that are being uncovered are, you know, starting to mount and raise some red flags. So we'll see here. I have him as a first-round pick, but depending on what comes out of this, we'll see. But he definitely has the talent. To be a starter here and wreck the league. Okay. All right. The other guy I have here in the first round, Solomon Thomas, Stanford. High motor, versatile. They could probably kick him in and play some defensive tackle and some edge rush. So he'll probably be gone. These guys here will probably be gone. Except Williams, I'm not sure. He could drop, and then you have the question is how far will he drop, and do you want to take the risk? But Solomon Thomas will probably be gone by the time we get to our pick at 28. All right. The next guy here, Derek Barnett. This guy here, I like this guy. I like this player a lot. He's pretty consistent, has a lot of production and sacks. You know, whether it's, you know, high competition or lower competition, he's pretty consistent. He's a good character guy, and he is a prototypical 4-3 guy. He's a 4-3 edge rusher. You know, this is not a guy that you're going to put in a 3-4. This guy's tailor-made for the 4-3. This would be a Garrett guy. This guy might be had in the teens, so if the Cowboys were to trade up, you know, throw in a second-round pick and move into the teens, he might be available. But this draft is so deep, I don't know that you want to throw in and lose a pick when you can keep adding talent. So I don't know if the Cowboys will do that, but we'll see. All right. The next guy I have is Taco Charlton, Michigan. This guy here, 6'5", 273. He's got long reach. He's a one-year starter. But to me, in my opinion, he's more of a left end, but he'll be a productive left end. He'll get you sacks and he'll be productive. But he could be available for the Cowboys. You know, we'll see what he does here in the combine. See what his speed and numbers look like. All the drills for the combine, and you know, all these drills for the speed, cone drills, 20. The shuttle and all these really make a big difference for defenders as far as explosiveness, agility, and that kind of thing, which all these numbers, they come up with what's called a spark number, and the Cowboys have usually and try to stick with the spark players that have high spark numbers. Okay, so we'll see what these guys do. Carl Lawson is the last guy I have here in the first round. 6'2", 255. He has several medicals though that they'll have to look over. This guy, he's got the burst and power, but he's got some bend as well. So he has everything you want in an edge rusher. So Carl Lawson, I think he'll be there at 28. Could come in here and be an immediate impact for the Cowboys. All right. So let's take a look at the first and second round players. I have these guys here. Takkarist McKinley. Excuse me. Still recovering from this cold. UCLA. 6'2", 258. He's got medicals. He recently had shoulder surgery. All right, so this shoulder surgery could scare off some teams. Last year, this guy, as far as like the shoulder surgery, reminds me of Shaq Lawson last year. The Bills drafted him. He had the same deal. Okay, he had a shoulder injury, same thing, labrum. This is what Takkarist McKinley has. So, and we saw what happened with Shaq Lawson. He missed a lot of time. He had to go. He aggravated the injury, had another surgery. So, you're gonna roll the dice with this pick here, and he may not be ready for the offseason program. He's probably gonna miss some time. So this is a guy that he'll play during the year, but he might start off on PUP and start off slow. And I'm not sure if the Cowboys want to do that. We need somebody right now to get after the quarterback. We have a tough schedule this year. We're gonna have to get a hold of these guys. We're gonna have to put pressure on guys if we want to get back to the playoffs. Charles Harris is the other guy, first, second round player. Missouri, 6'3", 255. I like him. Although some of the videos I've seen of him, he's gotten washed out in some of the plays. Kind of gets engulfed by some of the bigger offensive tackles and some of these blocks that come at him. He kind of gets washed out. Although this guy's on the Cowboys' radar. It said that he is a Marinelli type player, so we'll take a look. And it's in the second round. These are my second round players. DeMarcus Walker, Florida State. I almost put him in there as a first or second round pick, but I'm not sure if he's quite there. But definitely a second round pick in my opinion. Yeah, it could go earlier, but we'll see what he does in the combine. It could propel him upwards. So we'll take a look at this guy. He's got high sack production, very good. He does have some consistency questions though, but he's versatile. You could probably put him in here as a defensive tackle. And this is something the Cowboys would like out of this guy. Defensive tackle, and can rush the quarterback. Obviously, he knows how to get to the QB. We need players like this. So, could he be on the Cowboys' radar? We'll see. We'll see what he does. All right. The next guy, T.J. Watt from Wisconsin. He's 6'4", 245. He has some reach, non-stop motor. He's solid against the run. But with this guy, you're rolling the dice on this one too. He's had several knee surgeries, so his knees aren't all that. All these questions will be resolved during the combine though. They'll have to do the medicals on that and take a closer look. All right. Derek Rivers, Youngstown State. All right. He had a nice Senior Bowl. I like what I saw from him. 6'4", 250. He had a high sack production there. But again, small school guy. So we'll see. Defensive captain. But his reach is a little shorter than you would want. So, this guy could almost be a tweener. He could be like a 3-4 or a 4-3 guy. So we'll take a look. All right, and the other guy I have here, Terrell Basham. Okay. Now this guy, I really do like this guy. He was at the Senior Bowl too. Had a good week of practice. And high ceiling. This guy has a high ceiling. Played in the MAC. He's a natural leader. So, Cowboys, they like the leaders. They like guys that come in here with swagger and leadership. Basham will fit the bill. It's something that defensive line needs. Who do we have on the defensive line who who has the swagger and gets the team going. We don't have a guy like that. We need somebody that has that. All right, so we don't have that now. This guy could come in here and jumpstart it. All right, so I wanna see what he does in the combine. I really do. I wanna see how he does. All right, so keep an eye on that guy. Third or fourth round players. Tonah Pkassognon, Villanova, 6'7", 280. This guy's huge. He's got a prototypical build, massive guy, proportion and everything. He's got long arms. This guy could be JPP Part 2, okay? I'm not saying he'll come out right off the bat and be JPP, but his measurables, they kind of compare to him. And when you see him in action, he's got these moves and ability to get to the quarterback. So if we don't want to spend a lot of money and be in a bidding war with the Giants for JPP, this guy might feel the need, and for a lot less of a price tag. You know, these guys that are freakish builds and that kind of thing, athletic, they tend not to last that long, only because, you know, if you get this guy in with the right defender, defensive coordinator, defensive line coach, you could mold this guy into something crazy, you know, a big time player. It could be exactly what the Cowboys need. You put him in there with Marinelli, this guy could turn into an all-star, a Pro Bowler, okay? The other guy I have, Deshaun Hall, Texas A&M, the other defender, opposite of Myles Garrett, 6'5", 265. In his other seasons, he played at a lighter weight, and then he added more weight, and it kind of affected his speed. So I want to see what he does in the combine. I want to see what his speeds are and his agility in these drills. All right, so I want to see what his weight is, and I want to see what his speed is. So did he get bigger? Did he get smaller? I want to see what he's going to come in as. All right, he has upside, but I see him more as a left end. He was a left end at A&M, and I think at the NFL he'll be a left end. So obviously, left end is not what we need. We need a right end rusher. So, but you know, if we're gonna double dip, and this guy might be a guy you want to take and get him in the as your left end guy rotation. Okay, moving along here to the fourth round. A guy I like is Trey Hendrickson, Florida Atlantic, 6'4", 244. And this guy, he'll be a depth guy, rotational defensive end. I like what he did in the Shrine game, you know, the first college game that they had before the Senior Bowl. I like what he did. I thought he had a solid game. So, but he's definitely more of a rotational guy. I don't think he's a guy that's going to come in here and start for you. But again, you know, the more bodies you have there, the more that we have, the better. You know, we need to flush out some of the guys that aren't producing. And we know who they are. You know, we know who the guys are on our team that are not producing. We need to flush those guys out and put in some better talent. So this guy can help with that. Okay. So another guy I have here in the 4th to 5th round, Keontae Davis, Chattanooga, 6'3", 275. This guy, yeah, I think he's gonna be a possible riser. He had a really good Senior Bowl in practice and in the game. So I want to see what he does here in the combine. His speed drills, you know, the back drills, the agility. How fluid is he? He looked good, you know, in game action. So I want to see if he backs those numbers up. If he does good with his times and his measurables, this guy's gonna move up. He's gonna move up, and I wouldn't be surprised by it. All right, and then to finish it off, the 6th to 7th round, and maybe even undrafted, Dietrich Weiss Jr. out of Arkansas, 6'5", 275, okay? He has great reach, but again, this guy will be a rotational guy, and I see him more as a left-end player. He'll play the run good, not really a rusher with speed like a, you know, right end in the Cowboy system, so he'll be more of a rotational left end, all right? The other guy I have here, Isaac Rochelle, Notre Dame. This is a guy I've seen him, you know, because, you know, this is a team that I follow for college. 6'3", 282, very durable, defensive captain, a very strong player. He's not an edge rusher. Again, this is going to be another guy who is a left end, or he could bounce inside for interior help. So he's got some versatility. We'll see what he does. All right. And then the last player I have is Al-Quadin Muhammad, Miami, 6'3", 250. This guy had a good start at Miami. He's a Hurricane. He had an off-field issue here with he got mixed up in luxury cars, gifts, that kind of thing. So he was kicked off the team. He was dismissed, but right off the bat, he had potential here. He he looked the part. So he's gonna be at the combine. All these guys that we covered here, I confirmed they're all gonna be at the combine. So you get a sleeper with that guy. Any of these guys in these later rounds, they can end up being sleepers for you. Okay, so let me know who you guys like. Who in your opinion do we realistically have a shot at? Who do you like and who do you not like? Anybody on this list that's missing, please let me know in the comments. If there's a guy here that should be mentioned for me to look at some more, okay? I always appreciate you guys, your input, and I add all these guys to the list to look at. But these are my guys. These are the guys, I just want to get everybody familiar with these names, okay? That's a part of it. So when the combine starts, you can remember, oh yeah, I remember that guy, I heard the name, it's familiar, okay? So we'll see what these guys do in the combine. This is a big thing for us. We need guys that can get to the quarterback and who we can count on, okay? I don't know if we want to roll the dice with guys that have medicals and definitely guys with off-field issues. The Cowboys have been burnt the last couple times. I think this round they're probably gonna approach this a little differently. Jerry and Steven, they've acknowledged that, the way that they're gonna look at this draft and what kind of players they're gonna look at. And I think a big part of that has been, some of the disappointment they've had with DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory, obviously. So we'll see how that affects who we draft and who we target. So we'll be covering these guys more. Once the Cowboys start, locking in and filtering out these guys, we'll look at these players individually closer. We'll take a look at footage and that kind of thing. But I really appreciate you guys. Got more videos coming up, covering guys to watch for the combine. We're gonna get to the secondary, and we're gonna get to wide receivers and offensive line. And quarterback, we might combine that with another group. We might touch on them briefly, but we'll get into that. We'll have other videos here about the Cowboys. I have another video here in the works that I might release later today or on Sunday, covering the Cowboys, news and that kind of thing, just general discussion. So please like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you for the next video. Thanks, guys.